Hello and welcome to Stabilize. Today we're going to look at the druid card Starfall. Starfall is a 5 mana spell that either does 2 damage to your enemy's board or 5 damage to a specific minion. The two cards this is most comparable to on a base level is Fireball from the Mage, and I would probably say a slightly buffed Arcane Explosion or Consecrate, but we're going to go with Consecrate in this circumstance for easier comparison. Starfall against Fireball. Starfall does less damage for more mana, so it's not particularly good. However, there is a better potential of not wasting damage. Fireballing a fair few things in the early game probably means you're going to be wasting that extra damage, simply because a lot of the most dangerous minions in the game tend to have around about 5 health. So Starfall may be actually more efficient in terms of damage, but to be honest, it's not as good in terms of mana, so generally I don't use that. Starfall as an AoE, however, is really solid and really nice. Comparing it to Consecrate, the only real disadvantage is for 1 more mana you don't hit the hero for 2. But, other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. But because of its dual purpose, the fact that it can do 5 damage or do an AoE justifies that extra 1 mana cost. It's not as good as Consecrate. It's not as good as something like Blizzard. It's not as good as Fireball. But if you take all that aside, if you look at the card based on the fact that it can do both of those things for the price of 1, though not at the same time, you realise that the Druid Choice mechanic once again gives you slightly weaker versions of everyone else's spells, but gives you the option to pick either of them, making this a lot more adaptable because it fits in with the Druid theme of adaptation. Starfall also accelerates really nicely with spell power, more perhaps better than other spells do, though the 5 damage is specifically limited to a minion, so that's not exactly great. Starfall is good, reliable, and usable in a wide variety of situations, and I would honestly say you should put it in most decks.